How's it going, guys? Graham, GS, and Matthews here, back with another installment of Injection of Inspiration. If you haven't checked out the first one, be sure to do so. Went up on Wednesday. I really have no set schedule as to when I want to put these videos up. They might be on the weekends going forward. I don't really know. This one's going up on a Saturday or Sunday, but I do want to make more of a habit of publishing these kind of videos in the future because I like doing them. And as I said in the inaugural installment a couple days back, I would do this kind of stuff all the time anyway. So kind of putting it in audio form, video form, sharing stories, my own experiences, offering helpful advice, stuff like that. It's kind of stuff I do anyway on Facebook, on my Facebook page, at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews, blog, on Twitter as well at WrestleRant. So I figured I would take it to YouTube and do it kind of in audio form because I feel like it has more of an impact if I speak to you, obviously in video form and through audio as opposed to just words. But yeah, I want to do more of these in the future and kind of just basically whatever the hell's on my mind. We might go a month without doing one. It just kind of depends on what I see other people going through, what I myself am personally going through, and just kind of comment on that, offer helpful advice, like I said, maybe offer some motivation if possible. And my second topic, the first one talked about how tough times don't last, tough people do. This one is a topic I've been talking about for literally years. So I figured it would be only fitting if I discussed it for my second video in the Injection of Inspiration video series. So this goes out to my fellow college students, my high school students. Not to say that older people wouldn't relate to this, because I'm sure it did happen to them at some point earlier on in their lifetime. Maybe they're going through it right now. I guess it can be applied to different facets of life. But I have seen it to be most applicable to those in high school, maybe even those in college as well. Just the high school experience, and I've made no bones about it. I don't really like to talk about it too much, not because I hated high school. Let's just put it bluntly, but I don't like to stress on the negative, like, oh, this was fucking awful, that was terrible, I didn't like those people, and I didn't. I just don't like to bring it up all that much, just because I don't like to harp on that negativity, so to speak. I am thankful for every experience I ever had in high school and beyond, just because it kind of made me the person I am today, and I think that's the way that other people should look at it as well, and that high school is there for a reason. I mean, just in terms of what you will experience in high school, the people that you meet, I met some pretty great people. But the funny thing is this, I actually talked to more people that I went to middle school with. Now, I moved when I was in my freshman year of high school. Right before high school started, I moved to a completely different town. So I knew nobody coming into high school. Yet to this day, as a current senior in college, I talk to more people currently that I went to middle school with than I ever did than those I went to high school with. Which is almost pretty incredible, just because you would think that, I know I grew up with the people I went to middle school with, but I was in high school for 4 years. I just graduated 4 years ago. You would think I'd be talking to more people, but honestly, I could not have cared less about a lot of the people I went to high school with. And that's not a bad thing, and you really shouldn't either. I think a lot of people put way too much stock into not only just what other people think in general, which I think is kind of the common message of this video, and that I think a lot of people just care way too much about what other people think. And if that's your thing, that's completely okay. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to, because it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Their opinion of you does not matter. The only opinion of you that matters is your own. If you don't like who you are, then change yourself, but do not change yourself based off the opinions of other people. Maybe the opinions of people that are close to you, close friends, close family. That's one thing if they're concerned about you or they don't like the way that you are. But even then, you know you better than anyone fucking else does. You know who you are. You know what you want to be. You know what makes you happy. So just be that. And I think high school, like I said, that's a common theme throughout this entire video, but I'm just kind of applying it to high school specifically because I know there's a lot of people out there listening to this video that are still in high school, that maybe even in college, that might be in college, such as myself, where that kind of message, that kind of, life lesson, so to speak, I think is the most applicable. Because I think high school is a time in everyone's life where you're trying to fit in, trying to hit your stride, find what works best for you, not only in terms of your skill and where you want to go in life in general, but just even on a smaller scale, like where your friends are, who your friends are, what kind of person you are. I am far from the person I was even 5 years ago, and I think that could be said for pretty much anyone going from a junior, senior in high school to junior, senior in college, or being in the workforce, in the army, whatever it might be. You're going to evolve, you're going to grow up, And the people that I think give you the hardest time in high school are the people that don't grow up and are still the same people now that they were in fucking high school. And those are the people that don't really go anywhere. I can't speak for everybody, but from what I've seen anyway, those are the people that peak in high school and cannot get out of that high school experience. I know people like that. I know people that thought they were the hottest shit in high school, and then beyond that point, 3, 4, 5 years later, even maybe even longer than that in some cases for people that are older than me. I'm only 21 years old. My opinion is not the be-all, end-all. So, I mean, I'm just kind of speaking from my own personal experience here. But there are people that just cannot escape that environment. They love high school so much, and that's great. If you enjoyed your high school experience, that is amazing. I personally just did not like high school. I mean, I went to a smaller school, which is great. You know everybody. The teachers know you, which is even more important to me, which is more, I like that even more than the fact that you know everyone else in your grade and your class and all that other shit. But at the same time, teenagers will be teenagers. You know what I mean? Not everyone can be mature. Unfortunately, even at the college level, I still deal with stupid idiots on a daily basis. Not to stereotype and generalize and say, oh, all millennials, because I'm a fucking millennial, all college students, all teenagers are all awful. That is absolutely the farthest thing from the truth. I think just to say in general, kind of going off the, straying away from the high school aspect for just a second, just saying everyone in the world is a terrible person, everyone around me sucks, everyone is awful. Did I care too much about the people I went to high school with? Absolutely not. But that's not to say everyone I went to school with was a terrible person. There's a lot of great people I went to high school with I just don't keep in contact with because I wasn't that good friends with them. That doesn't make them a bad person. You know what I mean? I hear way too often for people that are in high school, college, even beyond that, oh man, everyone that goes to my school is fucking terrible. All guys are terrible. All girls are sluts. Blah, blah, blah. And that's so untrue. If you're saying that, I mean, hey, maybe there's a chance that everyone around you is a terrible person. That's very possible. Not too possible. There is a slight chance, but more often than not, that means you are not putting the effort to find the people that are worth your time. You have to spend your time with people that are worth your time. Do not waste your time with people that will really add nothing to your life. I'm not saying be with people that are going to give you shit. That's the wrong message to send. I'm not saying you should do that. It's the exact opposite. Find people who keep you positive, who make you happy, who you know will be there when there's a troublesome time. And they're not just there during the good times. I know some people that used to drink. I'm not going to name them out specifically, but I know a few friends that used to smoke / drink, and when they finally got their life together and stopped doing that shit, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do that stuff. If you want to do that, that's your prerogative, that's your option, that's your choice. It really doesn't fucking matter. But there is something to be said about moderation, and I might talk about that in a later video. But when you do that stuff constantly, and you go to the bar with the same people, you smoke with the same people all the time, and then when you finally get your life in check and you stop doing it as consistently, and those people only want to hang around you when you're drunk, when you're high, whatever, those are not your real friends. And you'll find that out very quickly in high school, in college, when you're spending all your time with the same people, and then once you graduate, you never hear from them again. And I think another very important message to send in terms of school especially is that I think, and I found this out very quickly, and in the latter half of my junior year, a lot later than I probably should have realized this, but I learned this in the final few months of my junior year of high school, that the people that you go to school with, honestly, they don't matter. I mean, I'm not saying you can't create lifelong friendships in high school, because you absolutely can if you find the right person that you can bond with, that you have good chemistry with. There's lifelong relationships in terms of, boyfriend, girlfriend kind of thing that work out long term. I'm not saying it's not possible, because it absolutely is. High school sweetheart is, of course, the term. But your classmates, the people that you go to school with, once you graduate, unless you go to a college where a lot of those people are going as well. Like, I had the option to go to a school, not close to me, but about 45 minutes to an hour away from me, where I knew a handful of kids that went to my high school were also going. And it was a good school. It was probably my second choice, but I said, nah, I did not want to go to a school. That was not the only deciding factor. That where I'm at now at Endicott College in Beverly, Mass, it just has a lot of stuff that I like. It kind of fit my interest. It just fit me personally, and just speaking broadly there for a second. But one of the big reasons was that there was a lot of people from my high school that were going to that college, and I did not want to spend another 4 fucking years with the same people. And I have met a lot more amazing people here in college than I ever honestly did in high school. Just a lot more mature, positive people that I would absolutely classify as long-term friends, families, brothers, and so on and so forth. But once you graduate from high school, again, unless you're a townie, I don't know if that's the right term, but someone that sticks around town and you see people that you went to school with all the time, and I don't because I moved anyway, so it's not like I see those people, you're never going to see those people again. They don't matter. You might be spending the same, 5 days out of the week, 8 hours out of a day with those people for so long, it feels like you'll be seeing them forever. But once you graduate, it really does not fucking matter. So you should not put so much stock into what they think of you. Because again, going back to what I said originally, the only opinion of you that you should worry about is your own. If you don't like who you are, then change yourself. But if you're only changing yourself based on the opinion of others of you, from others of you, then you're doing it wrong. I mean, again, it's all your choice, but just from personal experience, that's just my 2 cents. And that can really, again, be applied to not only high school, not only college, which in my opinion is far superior to high school in terms of experience and the people that you meet, not only like doing what the fuck you want and freedom and shit, because I know people who took advantage of that freedom and fucked up and had to leave school. I know a handful of people that happened to. But anyway, the message I'm trying to send, as I said, is that message specifically in terms of what not putting too much stock or caring too much about what people think about you can be applied to anything. Anything. If you go somewhere to a restaurant, okay, and you spill your food, you spill your drink on yourself, okay, you might care a little too much. You might care about what your girlfriend, your wife, your best friend that you're at the restaurant with might think of you when you pour your drink on yourself by accident. That's completely fine. That's fucking normal. But whatever Susie Q sitting next to you in the booth across from you thinks of you, who fucking cares? Because more often than not, very, very likely, you will never see that person again. I'm not saying, and again, this is the wrong mindset, the wrong way to think, and that, if I, be a dick to that person, I'll never see them again, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying that's awful. What I'm saying is that if something happens to you, you shouldn't feel embarrassed in front of almost anybody. Just because of what that person thinks of you that you will never, ever, ever, ever see again. Who fucking cares? Some people get that. Some people don't. If you don't get it, that's fine. I know a lot of people who I've told that to after they put way too much stock in what other people think of them, and they still don't listen, and they still don't get it. So I just kind of said, whatever. If you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. Just don't ask me for my opinion. But anyway, we're closing in almost 13 minutes here. I don't want to go on for too much longer. But as always, guys, thank you for listening. I appreciate your viewing. If you got something out of this, let me know. If you hate it, you love it, let me know. I appreciate all feedback. If we should do more of these in the future, you can drop a comment down below. Find me on Twitter at WrestleRant. Find me on Facebook at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews. And we might do more of these incoherent, positive, motivational, rambling sessions in the future for injection of inspiration. So again, guys, I appreciate you. I love you. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you folks down the road.